All right, Shalom is Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I love to give all praise, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash, the bondage to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who's taught us just 100% truth. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Shalom to all the Akim, pushing his truth and sincerity. And shalom to the sincere Aqua that may be out there watching and learning. It's your brother Call from the GMS Columbus, Ohio branch coming at you again with another lesson of the Spirit. And in this lesson, briefly spoke about it on my last lesson. I'm entitled it, Aren't You Tired of Making Mistakes? You know, because in this life and in this flesh, our flesh is subject to sin, all right? And our spirit is constantly warring against the flesh, all right? Because in our spirit, you know what I'm saying, we know, you know what I'm saying, hey, man, I don't want to go off. I don't want to make no mistakes. I don't want to do anything that's not pleasing unto the Lord, you know, but there are things that we do unknowingly, all right, that's against the Lord, all right? And sometimes, you know, we make mistakes, you know, overindulging in certain things, you know what I'm saying? Just certain stuff that, you know, we know, like, dang, man, this may not be pleasing to the Lord, you know? And, you know, it's sad, but it's just the reality of this flesh, you know? Of course, we try our best, you know what I'm saying? And certain things, you know what I'm saying? We have that no-go, like, this is a no-go, like, I'm not doing this, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we're not about to go eat a pork sandwich and say, Lord, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, all right? We're not gonna go, you know, do some Momo shit and then be like, Lord, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, you know? But even then, in those things, you know what I'm saying, those are demons that we fight on a day-to-day anyway, because a lot of us grew up, you know what I'm saying, in situations where our life was surrounded by sin, you know? But at the end of the day, just simple mistakes, man, you know, not studying enough, not reading enough, you know what I'm saying? Oh, those are things that a lot of brothers, including myself, get down on themselves about, like, damn, man, you know, I didn't study enough, I didn't read enough, or a thing. I went a whole day without reading. I went a few days without reading. I didn't do a video, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. It's like, damn, you know, we all are constantly watching ourselves, you know what I'm saying, and just wishing we could do more and be better and be perfect, you know? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, that's not something that's set for us right now. You know, right now we're in a position where we are trying to turn away from this life of sin that we grew up in and trying to really lock in on the Lord, you know. And it's not an easy walk, it's not an easy fight, you know what I'm saying, because like I said, our flesh is subject to sin. So I'm going to start here. Psalms 51 verse 5, it says, Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. See, you know, and that's all of us in a roundabout way, in a different manner. You know, majority of our parents, you know what I'm saying, weren't virgins when they had us, you know what I'm saying, or with their first husbands, you know what I'm saying. You can go on and on, you know what I'm saying. Our parents were sinners, man, you know, and it's just what it is. And sure enough, we came out the same way, you know, some worse, some better, you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, all of our flesh is subject to this sin, this sinful life, all right, and it hurts, you know, when you actually care and you want to do right and be great, all right, for the Lord. When you truly turn your life over and you really like, man, I really want to be better. I truly want to be better. I truly want to work on myself, you know. But of course, it's not easy, you know. When you spent 20 plus years, you know, living a life of sin, okay, you turning your back on the whole way of living that you once knew, you know, which is beautiful. You know, I know for all of us, we made some changes, man, that we didn't ever think we would do, you know. So Thawadi Habashim outside for that. But it's still a tough walk, man. You know, and that's why we gotta keep striving and keep fighting, you know, to make it out of this place, man. Because, man, our flesh is so, you know, easily consumed. All right, it's easy to fall into a slumber. It's easy to go live a wicked lifestyle. All that shit is easy. All right, being in this truth is a true fight. But I'm gonna jump here, Romans 7. And this is Paul. Romans 7, I'm going to start at verse 18. It says, "For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing." Our flesh is tainted, our flesh is tarnished, alright? Our flesh is corruptible. See? It says, "For to will is present with me, about to perform that which is good, I find not. For the good that I would do, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do." Damn. That sucks, man, you know? And that's that war between the flesh and the spirit, you know what I'm saying? Our spirit is locked in. Our spirit wants to be perfect. Our spirit yearns for perfection. Our spirit yearns for being righteous. But our flesh is yearning for wickedness. The easy route. Alright, our flesh wants it easy. Alright? Our flesh, like when you're warring against your flesh, you know what I'm saying? You are pushing it to the limits. You know what I'm saying? Because all our flesh wants is wickedness and weakness. All right, and that's come from years and years, generation after generation of degrading and everything, man. All right, that's why Esau, you know, has done a huge number on us, man. You know, has put certain things in place to where, you know, our flesh has been torn down even more. You know what I'm saying? Social media. You know what I'm saying? We're all guilty of doom scrolling, as they say. You know, over sexualizing everything, and it's only getting worse. You know, see certain ads popping up. You know what I'm saying? They're you know, openly promoting, you know, sex pills and shit like that, and having women saying this and that, and dudes saying this and that on the ad. You know what I'm saying? It's just a super sexualized world. You know what I'm saying? And you wonder why Jake, you know, be so, you know what I'm saying, on 10 with the women, you know what I'm saying? Because this is all that's around you. You know what I'm saying? They took the fathers out the homes, you know what I'm saying? Women is running around half naked and don't give a damn, you know what I'm saying? This is my body, my choice type of shit. Like, everything is just out of whack in this place, man. Alright? And that's all trying to battle against our flesh, man. Alright? And that's why it's extremely important for us to be tapped into the spirit, alright, and allow our spirit to rule over our flesh, and not let our flesh rule over our spirit. And then that, it's not easy, but it's something that we have to do, and something that we have to practice every day. You know what I'm saying? And soon enough, we will be made whole again. Alright? But I'm going to get another one real quick from Galatians 5 and verse 17. Yep. It says, "For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary to the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would." See? So that's a you know, a battle, you know what I'm saying, in itself, trying to fight against your flesh. You know what I'm saying? They're not, you know, they're not one with each other at this point in time. All right, our flesh and our spirit are not one, man. You know. And I'm gonna get verse 18. It says, "But if ye led of the spirit, hold on. But if ye led of the spirit, ye are not under the law." You see. It says, "Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, so on, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in the time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High." See, and that's why it's important for us to be tapped into the spirit. Alright, because if you allow your flesh to rule over you, your life will be consumed with full of wickedness, man. Doing things that you wouldn't even think that you would do, you know. So, you know, when it comes to that, man, we gotta be on point, man. Alright, and we gotta really tap into the spirit heavier and heavier, man. You know what I'm saying? That way we don't fall victim to our flesh. Okay? And it's all conditions of the battle. At the end of the day, and through the Spirit, I've been going into 2 Corinthians 7. That's our weekly, our breakdown for Friday nights this week. And that's just highlighting, the straight gate. You know what I'm saying? And in that chapter, it just highlights, how Adam, the beginning of sin. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord breathed that breath of life into Adam. And after him, what I'm saying, our what I want to say, our flesh, everything has been subject to wickedness, man. Ezra was just pleading, like, nah, man, how we gonna make it, when our flesh and everything pretty much is sown to wickedness, man. And that's the importance of Yahushua. With Yahushua coming on the scene, it has given us grace on the things that we can't keep. It's given us grace on the mistakes that we do make. Us, coming with a sincere heart and actually trying to change, actually trying to turn our lives over. Calling on Yahweh, Yahushua, etc. So we're willing to take that breakdown sometime tonight or tomorrow, Lord willing. But I'm gonna jump over 1 Corinthians 15 down 51. See, this is now, highlighting, what we need, what we're striving after, that's them new bodies, us finally being made whole, but just like in that 2 Corinthians 7 as well, we got to go through that straight gate. We just be since wickedness has came on the scene. Now these are the conditions of the battle. These are the things that we have to go through in order to get to the kingdom now. Alright, and it's just what it is. That we take it and we run with it, alright? And that's all we can do at the end of the day. Alright? But 1 Corinthians 15, and I'm gonna start at 51. It says, behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. See? Soon enough we'll be changed. Soon enough we'll be made whole. Soon enough our flesh won't be subject to sin. Alright? I'm going to get that too, Lord willing. But I'm going to finish this out. Verse 53 says, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. See? We're going to be immortal, man, in the kingdom, man. Alright? No more death, no more sorrow, no more pain. Alright? We'll be made whole. We'll be made clean. Alright? Pure. Alright? To never go off again. Alright? So in order for us to get that and receive that, we have to battle and battle and battle until the end. Alright? And it's tough. It's going to be tough. But it's part of the fight, man. And that's what's going to make it all the better. Alright? We're going to have all the glory, man. Alright? For all the things that we put off, all the things that we sacrifice, all the things that we let go of, all the fighting that we had to go through, alright, in order to make it to this point. Alright? I think that's all I want in there. I got Philippians 3:20, yeah. So the C20 a classic. It says, for our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. See? So the Lord, is going to change our nasty, foul, tarnished bodies and shape it like Yahweh Shai, you know what I'm saying, his glorious body, you know what I'm saying, in his most glorious estate, man. Alright? And we will be in like manner of Yahweh Shai, man. That's true greatness right there. Alright? And that's what we gotta continue to fight for, continue to chase after. You know, Lord willing, we almost home, man. You know, we're getting closer and closer every day. You know what I'm saying? One day closer, one day closer, one day closer. All right? We just got to keep chipping away at it, man. And it's not easy, but it's part of the walk. All right, and I'm going to get one more. Jeremiah 31 and verse 33 says, "But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith Yahweh, I will put my law in their inward parts, and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people." And that's the bottom line. You know, the law will be in us, you know, and we won't make none of the mistakes that we made here, man. All right? Everything that was set up for us to be great from the beginning will finally be within us, man. All right? To no longer go off ever again, man. You know? I know Jake is tired of making mistakes. I know Jake is tired of going off. I know Jake is tired of being weak. I know Jake is hurting, man, you know? So we just got to keep pushing, man. Keep the faith, man. And may Yahweh Shai deliver us out of this hellhole, man. But that's it. With willingness is edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory again unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Lakakodash. No mind is again to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. I say Shalom and Abad Ball.